It's meant to be the happiest day of your life. You're walking down the aisle in your beautiful wedding dress, ready to marry the man of your dreams. You reach the altar and say, "There will be no wedding today. It seems Alex is not who I thought he was." This is what happened when a bride found out the night before their wedding day that her fiancé and partner of 6 years had cheated on her. Now, she found out after receiving anonymous text messages with incriminating evidence and the question, "I wouldn't marry him, will you?" Well, I know. Would you have walked down the aisle afterwards? Would you have just continued and carried on, Amber? What would you do?
I would absolutely do what she did and read the text out.
Well, that's what she did. She read the text messages out for all.
I would have loved to be a guest at that wedding to see that happen. Would have loved that. But absolutely read out the messages in front of everybody.
And halfway through, apparently, he stormed out with his best man when he realised what was happening. His family were there, and they were all very, very close. Everyone thought this was a perfect
It's like a movie, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
Because instead of just cancelling and somebody else telling the congregation, imagine standing up and reading what he had said to this girl the night before, etc., etc. I mean, I guess she just went off and said, "Well, we've got a party organised. Might as well have it anyway."
Yeah.
He's gone.
Wow. It's difficult to know, isn't it, what you would do, because obviously you would be devastated. In fact, one of our producers that we were talking to earlier said that he would have actually gone through with the wedding and then got an annulment because he would have been too embarrassed to cancel it all.
I think the anger sets in, doesn't it? I mean, if you've been cheated on, I assume it's the anger that keeps you going for the first few days anyway.
Totally,
So I think she probably did that.
It was good to keep it in the whole night, though, and then not address it
have
till the
to
next day.
pretend.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was researching something, and it was about female lorry drivers. And anyway, and we went to visit this female lorry driver. She was fabulous, and she was called Long Load Lynn. So hello, Long Load Lynn. Anyway, she had told me this story that she had had this boyfriend, and he had had a very mild form of OCD, which I know is an illness, so I'm not making light of it, but literally everything in the cupboard had to be turned, all the soup cans had to be turned out, the towels had to be in exactly the same thing with, you know, the whole house was like that. And he had a massive CD collection, 3,000 CDs, and he had them all on shelves around the house, and every single one was in, you know, and she found out that he was cheating. And when he was out at work, she took every single of the 3,000 CDs out and put them in different CD covers. The other one that I love is prawns in the curtain rail. In the curtain rod, so that you can't find the smell anywhere, and the house just gets worse and worse and worse. I love that one.
But actually, it's the sweet justice. I mean, I think that bride you were talking about, I mean, that is like the ultimate revenge. Yeah. But there's a person who appears on television, whom we all know, actually, but when she was cheated on, not only did she do the whole cutting of suits and the sleeves and all that kind of thing.
She did do that, didn't she?
She did do that. And then, but he had the best collection of the most expensive wine ever. But she didn't pour it down the sink. She went round like the milkman. And in her whole area, she put, like, people got up to this wonderfully expensive wine on the doorstep. And, of course, I think that probably hit his pocket and hit his morale more than anything else. But that's brilliant, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, in that moment, you just don't know what you do.
No.
How would you react, and how have you reacted before, Amber?
So I have been cheated on before. Oh. But I believe in karma and having good karma and bad karma, so I didn't go out in Scratchy's car. It did cross my mind, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So instead, I just left a bag of his stuff at his door, but he had these trainers that we had bought together in America. You could only get them at this one shop, and I took out the right shoe and left the left shoe in the bag and drove away and threw it out the window, just so I knew that he'd be looking for the trainer and it wasn't there. That was the little bit of satisfaction that I thought I'd have, just a little bit, without getting any bad karma for it. So, and that made us feel good.
What would you do, Christine?
I'd be terrible. I just would be terrible. I'd think of the worst things I could possibly do in that moment.
We've got some...
I don't know if I'd carry it out, but my goodness, my head would go to dark place.
Yeah.
We've got some fabulous comments.
You better watch out, yeah.
We've got a comment from Lucy here who says, "My mum worked with a lady. She caught her husband messaging another woman and took his belly button fluff and put it in his mashed potato." What? And then we've got Leanne who says, "Oh, my goodness, my husband cheated on my wedding day in the toilets with my best friend."
That is
that is the worst
horrible
betrayal. Ever?
Ever.
And then Sarah says, I couldn't bring myself to let them know I was there at the time when I found them together. I froze. I still kick myself for not tipping a bucket of cold water at them. However, I'm still with them 20 years later, but I still bring it up. I can't forget it.
Oh. See, that's the problem,
the thing,
which
you
is
keep
why
throwing it back.
I think this lady in this story, at least she was able to deal with it beforehand.
I know.
You'd much rather find out beforehand, surely.
With a bit of panache.
Yes,
you know.
and not thanks to the man she was about to marry.
But you were talking about
it was
the
the
food.
woman, obviously.
Do you remember that case of the man who cheated in the papers? And she went to her local grocery store and she got all the dog meat and she made it into spaghetti.
Yes, I've
and
heard that.
watched him eating it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah.
I hope Lincoln's watching.
Don't do it.
Jane has told us, in fact, she's on the other side of this. I met someone and 6-7 months in, he told me he was married. I was devastated. I found his address on the electoral roll and wrote a letter to his wife. So that's from the other side of it all. Hazel said, I was married for 25 years, but there is life after a cheating husband. Get out there, make friends, enjoy life, put it behind you, or it makes you bitter. We are only here for a short time.
Yeah.
I believe that. Well said, Hazel. Still, though, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy.